It all began on a rainy Saturday in a small Midwest town, one of those places where everyone knows each other's names, but not always their struggles. Thomas Reed, 67, stood quietly at the back of a crowded community hall. A widower for nearly 10 years, he had buried the love of his life, Eleanor, after her battle with cancer. Since then, Thomas had lived alone in the farmhouse they once dreamed of filling with children. Time had given him money, but taken away almost everything else. He didn't smile much anymore, and the warmth in his blue eyes had dimmed with every passing year. The charity auction wasn't something he normally attended. But a neighbor had convinced him to go. The proceeds were meant to fund college scholarships for underprivileged kids, something Eleanor, a retired schoolteacher, would have supported. As the auction went on, selling everything from old paintings to baked pies, Thomas remained a silent observer. Then, the MC announced something that made the room go still. Next up, the announcer said, clearing his throat, is a unique experience donated by a brave young woman. A day of help, be it housework, tutoring, gardening, or just companionship. She's 19. Her name is Lily. Lily walked onto the stage wearing a borrowed dress and nervous smile. Her hair was tied back, and though her face was young, her eyes told stories far older. A murmur swept through the crowd. Some chuckled. A few looked uncomfortable. But most watched with polite indifference. Thomas, however, felt something stir. Maybe it was the way she stood, so much like Eleanor had when she used to give her first-year students a pep talk. Maybe it was her eyes, lonely, but determined. The bidding started low. $10. $20. A pause. Then silence. Thomas raised his hand. 500, he said. Gasps rippled through the crowd. That amount was outrageous for a charity auction in such a small town. But Thomas didn't flinch. He wasn't buying her. He was saving her. The girl's lip trembled as the gavel came down. Sold. Later that day, Lily showed up at Thomas's porch, drenched in the fading rain, hugging herself against the cold. He offered her a towel, a hot drink, and a seat at his kitchen table. You don't have to do anything, he said gently. The money's already gone to the scholarship fund. You're free. She blinked, stunned. Why would you do that? Thomas sighed, setting down his tea. Because once, someone saved me too. And because, someone I loved would have wanted me to. That night, she stayed for dinner. Then another night. Then the weekend. What started as charity turned into friendship. Lily opened up. She had aged out of foster care just months before. No family. No home. She worked nights at a gas station and walked miles to a local community college during the day. She was surviving, barely, but she had dreams. She wanted to be a nurse. Thomas, for the first time in years, felt purpose returning. He didn't have children. No one to pass the farmhouse to. No one to share his memories with. So he did something unexpected. He offered Lily the guest room. Just until she could find her feet. She cried that night. Not because she was sad, but because no one had ever been that kind to her before without expecting something in return. Over the months, Lily transformed the old house. She cooked, painted walls, planted flowers Eleanor once loved. Thomas taught her how to drive. She convinced him to adopt a scruffy mutt from the shelter. They became a strange little family, two broken souls healing each other. But the story doesn't end there. One afternoon, Thomas collapsed in the kitchen. Lily rushed him to the hospital. The diagnosis came swiftly, heart failure. His time was short. He smiled weakly from the hospital bed. Guess it's my turn to be saved again. But Lily wasn't ready to lose him. Not now. She moved into the hospital's nursing program full-time, fueled by something deeper than ambition, love, gratitude, and hope. Thomas spent his final months at home, cared for by the very girl he had once bought at an auction, who now stayed up every night checking his vitals, making him soup, reading to him aloud. Before he passed, he handed her a letter. In it was a deed to the house, his bank account information, and a note written in shaky handwriting. Lily. I bought a day of your time, but you gave me a lifetime in return. This home is yours now. Keep it full of light, just as you filled mine. Love always. Thomas. Today, Lily runs a small community clinic in that same farmhouse, offering free checkups and medical guidance to those who can't afford it. The front porch always has flowers. A picture of Thomas and Eleanor hangs in the hallway. And in the garden, a plaque reads, "Kindness is never wasted. It always returns." What began as a moment of compassion between a lonely widower and a lost girl became a legacy of love. And if you ever find yourself passing through that quiet town, look for the old white farmhouse with the lavender gate. Inside, you'll find a story still being written, a story that proves one act of kindness can change two lives forever.